I always thought small towns were supposed to be predictable. Same streets, same faces, same quiet routines. But that morning, everything changed. I was wiping down the counter at Maplewood Café, the scent of fresh coffee and cinnamon rolls filling the air, when the doorbell chimed. I didn't even look up at first. Just another customer, I thought, until I heard the voice. Is the maple latte still your specialty? My breath caught in my throat. Number it couldn't be. Slowly, I lifted my eyes, and there he was, Liam Parker, the boy who had broken my heart 10 years ago, the boy I thought I'd never see again, the boy who, despite everything, still made my heart skip a beat. "You're back," I managed to say, my voice thinner than I wanted it to be. He gave me that same crooked smile I used to know so well. "For a while," he replied, "if that's okay with you?" I wanted to say so many things, that it wasn't okay, that he couldn't just waltz back into my life like nothing happened, that he had left without a word, and I had spent years piecing myself back together. But all that came out was, "Maple latte's still the best in town." His eyes softened, and for a moment it felt like no time had passed at all. As I turned to make his drink, my hands trembled slightly. Memories flooded in, summer nights by the lake, his hand brushing mine, whispered promises beneath the stars, and the night he left, without warning, without goodbye. I fought to steady my breath. I had built a life here without him. I didn't need Liam Parker. At least that's what I told myself. When I slid the mug across the counter, our fingers brushed just for a second. A spark, undeniable, unwelcome. "Thanks, Emma," he said, his voice rougher now, like he was carrying more than he used to. I wanted to ask why he'd come back. Why now? But my pride wouldn't let me. Instead, I watched as he took a sip and closed his eyes, like the taste of the latte carried him back to another time. Maybe it did. Days passed. He kept coming back. Always the same order, always the same quiet glances. We never talked about the past, but it hung between us like a storm cloud waiting to break. Then one evening, as I was closing up, I found him outside, leaning against the old oak tree, the same tree where he'd first kissed me. "Emma," he began, his voice low, almost hesitant, "I owe you an explanation." I crossed my arms, keeping my distance, though my heart begged me to step closer. "You think?" I replied, sharper than I intended. He exhaled slowly, his gaze falling to the ground. "My dad got sick, really sick," he said. "I had to leave fast. I thought I'd come back sooner, but life got in the way." I felt my defenses falter, just a little. "You could have called," I said quietly. "I should have," he admitted. "Every day I wanted to, but the longer I waited, the harder it got, and I figured you'd moved on." I swallowed the lump rising in my throat. "I tried," I whispered. Silence stretched between us. Painful, heavy, real. Then he stepped closer, his eyes meeting mine with a vulnerability I hadn't seen before. "I never stopped thinking about you, Emma." The truth in his words cracked something open inside me. Memories, both sweet and bitter, came rushing back. "I hated you for leaving," I admitted, my voice trembling. "I hated you for not saying goodbye." "I hated myself more," he replied, his voice thick with regret. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then softly, he asked, "Can we start over?" My heart wavered, caught between fear and longing. "Liam," I said, barely above a whisper, "you broke me once." "I know," he replied, his eyes never leaving mine. "But I swear, if you give me the chance, I'll spend every day proving I'm not that boy anymore." Tears blurred my vision, and I looked away, afraid of what he'd see. But deep down, I knew the truth. I never stopped loving him. Maybe I tried. Maybe I told myself I had moved on. But the moment he walked back into my life, the walls I'd built began to crumble. Slowly, I nodded. "One coffee at a time," I said, managing a small smile. His lips curved into that familiar grin. "I can live with that," he replied. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over Maplewood, I realized something.
Maybe small towns aren't so predictable after all. Maybe, just maybe, they're full of second chances. And maybe this time we'd get it right.